I don't know why I kidnap kids. I don't know why. I think I have 7 kids at my house right now. 7. 6. It will be 7 later. Y'all want to drop some off? You got to drop off that child support too, though. But I love the babies. I grew up with a whole bunch of kids in the house all the time. And so that's what I remember the most about my childhood, is spending time with my cousins, spending time with my god sisters and brothers, and just being around that core nucleus that to this day is still my nucleus. And so I feel as if, what's the point of sending kids to camp? Not camp, but like when we aimlessly just send them to daycare camp that's not really doing anything with them, that's not really teaching them, just keeping them while we're at work. They do homework, they watch documentaries, we have discussions, they have debates. As far as those boys are concerned, they do their whole little I am Spartan in the backyard. Let them be kids. Let them be great. The worrying rise of medical tourism. Experts warn that hundreds of clinics across the world are selling unsafe stem cell treatments to desperate patients. Clinics are offering unsafe stem cell treatment and have opened up across the world. So this isn't just this isn't in the UK. This isn't in the United States. This isn't in EU. Like, this is everywhere. Stem cell tourism involves traveling to other countries for untested therapies. I actually have family members that have gone out of the country for untested therapies. And one of the things that I would like to say is they have seen more results with some Russian drugs that FDA would never, ever, ever approve, and seen like instant results. So I don't know. I'm on the fence a little bit, kind of. I need more information. Just because I've seen how well it works. But as far as like stem cells are concerned, you do know that Planned Parenthood, I'll let you think about that one. Chemotherapy could cause cancer to spread and grow back even more aggressively. This is a new study from New York's Albert Einstein College of Medicine. The drug is often regarded as the first option for breast cancer patients, but evidence suggests that this is only a short-term solution and can be very dangerous. While shrinking tumors, it opens gateways for tumors to spread. Cancer becomes almost impossible to treat once it spreads to other organs. Do you guys remember the black scientist that created the, what is it? He created the glasses, the cancer glasses, and it allowed him to use, so basically he put something in the blood and it ran through the system, and with his glasses he could see where the affected cells were, and then he would work and treat on the affected cells. He is Nigerian born. Shout out to my Nigerians. I love me some of them. Nigerian born scientist. He won an award for his cancer seeing glasses, and they're upgraded. So I've seen probably like 6 or 7 different memes, and he has like beta 4.0, 6.0, but he's basically doing it. They work in the dark. In order to properly operate them, you have to work in the dark. I thought, what if we create something that lets you see things that aren't available to the ordinary eye, he said. Dr. Achefalou won the scholarship from French government to study at the University of Nancy, according to reports, and shout out to him. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Black excellence, huh? Volvo gets ready to take off, literally, as the parent company buys a flying car firm called Tefefagen. I don't even know how. I'm not even going to pretend. The craft have fold-out wings and can fly a maximum of 10,000 feet. And the vehicle was approved by the FAA for certification last year. And the company, Volvo, is Geely. And and they have agreed to purchase the flying car Terrafunga. I believe that is. I think it's dope. It's an 1,800-pound vehicle, and the concept vehicle looks amazing. I definitely would Back to the Future it, but I already want to fly. Like, I grew up on the Jetsons. We're supposed to fly. We've been supposed to fly. These iPhones ain't nothing new. These iWatches ain't nothing new. You ain't watched the Jetsons? Go-Go Gadget had all of these. And where's Steve Wilson at? Because you let him tell it. We have all this technology. The aliens gave it to us. But we've been sitting on it. That's it. In all honesty, a lot of people think that when Roswell took place, when that crash took place, that we were trying to secretly hide that information from Russia. We didn't want them to know that we had that reverse technology. And if they got a hold of their reverse technology, they could annihilate us. So we went ahead, we hoarded it all for ourselves. We lied to the public. No, aliens are fake. There's nothing there. We spend billions of dollars in the middle of nowhere, but there's nothing out there. And all of this advanced technology, like, it was damn near automatic after that, as far as our technology is concerned. So, I don't know. I wonder. I do ponder. And when you take a look at the pyramids and you see a car and you see a plane and you see a helicopter, you're like, interesting. I wonder. In other news, one Alabama couple is showing us that real love has no limit. Where's Mary J. Blige at? Murphy Wilson, 70 years old, and Lucinda Myers, 67, plan to wed on July 29th in Huntsville, Alabama. What's up, Huntsville? Roll Tide. Like young whippersnappers these days, they took a series of engagement photos to celebrate their up-and-coming nuptials, and social media went crazy. Niecy Nash shared the picture on Instagram, and it blew up from there. She swept me off my feet. I just fell in love with her as he talks about his new wife, and I think this is dope. Don't anybody tell Nana, but I would love for her to find love. I would love for her to be in a relationship. I hope don't nobody tell her, and I hope she ain't listening. But I really do. I think that not even like find love, but just have a companion. Don't nobody want to die and not have somebody to hold hands and talk to every night? I'm a product of Disney, so I think I'm supposed to hold hands and die with someone. The Notebook got me messed up completely. There is a white guy that asked a black barber for a Confederate flag cut. He didn't go to his barber in his neighborhood. He went to some guy. The barber posted a picture. This guy came in and wanted the Confederate flag, and that's what he got. Fading Up Barbershop is all about giving you what you want. I'm going to post this. He went ahead and put, like, chalk. I don't know if that's chalk. Danny, come look at this, because I'm not a barber, and maybe you know a little bit more. So, is that chalk, or is that just the way his scalp is?
It looks like it's chalk.
It looks like chalk? It does look like chalk. So he got a Confederate flag and something about slum on the back of his neck with a star and a lightning bolt. This is real life. I can't make this up. Fade in up. I don't know if this is tomfoolery here. What would Charlamagne the God say about this? I think you already know. But you know what, though? I would not be surprised if that right there, like, the dude goes back with his Confederate flag in his head, and his boy's like, yo, where'd you get that from? And he's like, I went to Fading Up. Can you imagine him and all his cousins going back to get Confederate flags in their head? Watch. I'm gonna read a story in like 3 months. Him and all his cousins came back. Venus and Serena 2.0. Compton's new set of sisters is taking over, but they're taking over golf. They produce Dre, Kendrick, Issa, Venus, Serena, and soon there may be 2 more beautiful souls hailing from its notorious talent-producing streets. The Phillips sisters are from Compton, and they're already being compared to the Williams sisters, as saying that they're prodigy in white-dominated sports. According to reports last week, Layla Phillips, 6 years old, won a Southern California GPA drive chip and putt competition, qualifying her for a Junior World Championship in San Diego. They are very, very good. I can only compare them to the sisters, the Williams sisters in tennis, said CEO of Help Youth Through Golf, a nonprofit that teaches the game to black and brown youth. Her sister, 4-year-old Roxy, is just as impressive. The sisters learned golf at the age of 2 years old, so I don't want when parents are out here talking about something, I gotta wait for my kid to turn 7 and 8 years old. And now he started playing T-ball at 3, and he's still a great ball player to this day. You don't have to wait. You do not have to wait. When Asaria was born, before she can even open her eyes, I played her My Baby Can Read. I wish I had My Baby Can Read for Inari, because Asaria's phonetics is ridiculous. You can give her any language, put letters in front of her, and she can figure it out. She is the greatest storyteller. She writes beautifully, and you don't have to wait. Because I wasn't finna read to the baby for 6 hours a day. You put her, I put her in front of the TV. My baby can read, and who she is today speaks volumes of the work I did when she was young. I know you guys heard this already, but out of my mouth, I would like to tell you that an NYPD officer was fatally shot in an unprovoked direct attack while sitting in her patrol car. That baby was gorgeous. She was a 12-year veteran with the department in the 46th precinct of the anti-crime unit. She was a partner. The entire community loved her. When the community loves you as a police officer, that speaks volumes. Volumes. Not your co-workers, not the blue code, not your brothers in blue and your sisters in blue, but when the community loves you, when the community stands up and says that this is a tragedy, when the community says that, we loved her and she loved us and she showed us love, that is so sad. Condolences to her family. She was shot in the head. She was getting ready to wrap up her shift. Mitosis familia, I believe that's the correct pronunciation. Peace and blessings to her family. I can't imagine what they're going through right now. A HIV-positive Maryland high school coach accused of sexually assaulting at least 7 male students. He was the track coach. A Charles County, Maryland former school aide and track coach is facing multiple charges after being accused of molesting at least 7 male students. Can you imagine how hard it is for a man to say, even a young man, I don't care if he's 10 years old, men still have that testosterone. They still have this perception of themselves that they're big and strong and He-Man warriors. And for 7 to already come out and say, I'm a victim. Carlos Bell told investigators that he was HIV positive and evidence was recovered to confirm his status. The 30-year-old was arrested on Friday on 2 counts of assault, 3 charges of producing child pornography, with more charges expected as the investigation continues. Investigators believe that Bell sexually abused 7 male students on school property, at his home, and possibly at another location. They are asking anyone whose child may have even been in contact with Bell to contact the police immediately. Anyone that has concerns about their children regarding this case should contact the police immediately. This is scary. It's scary in the sense of, how do you know? How would you know? What are the signs as far as your child is concerned? Especially when they're teenagers and they start to automatically withdraw and go into themselves and don't want to be bothered and don't want to talk. Even the damn tweens today have freaking problems when it comes to, I just want to be left alone. No, you don't. Take your ass outside and go play with some friends. Go do something constructive. But when they have this mentality where they don't want to do anything, but you see that as, oh, they're just being teenagers, how do you know the difference between someone who is being any type of assaulted on school grounds versus them just typically being that teenager? And last but not least, this is definitely a fluff story, but I remember the day that Tupac died. I remember crying my eyes out. I remember how hurt I was. A prison letter written by Tupac is up for auction and is likely to fetch over $100,000. But it's the subject matter that's gotten everyone's attention. In the letter to Madonna, Tupac admitted that he ended their relationship because she's white. He said, quote, "For you to be seen with a black man wouldn't in any way jeopardize your career." He confessed in a letter dated January 15th, 1995. If anything, it would make you seem more exciting and more open. But for me, at least in my previous perception, I felt due to my image, in quotations, I would be letting down half the people who made me what I thought I was. I didn't even know Tupac and Madonna were a thing. But when he was in jail, he cut it off. That's why we didn't know nothing about it. And there is an old school throwback picture of Madonna with Big Daddy Kane and Naomi Campbell. And I can't remember if it's Madonna with her legs open and Naomi looking at carpet, or the reverse version of Naomi laying down and Madonna looking at carpet. But it was pretty provocative for back in the day when people didn't even have camera phones. So like, where the hell they got a camera from back in the 80s just to catch that one picture? But Big Daddy Kane probably remember that night vividly. But that's neither here nor there. A little fluff piece really quickly. Last but not least, I'm sorry, millennials. All you millennials, they're saying that millennials are not ready for the real world, for the reality of life, and suffer from panic attacks and anxiety problems. A study of 2,000 would-be students found many aren't prepared for university life. More than half of millennials don't know how to pay bills or the real cost of rent. Researchers warn that the prospect of leaving home is worrying many millennials. Around half are anxious at this point in their life, and 27% are having panic attacks. How many have children that are overly nervous, that get frustrated easily? I am one of those parents. Anari is forever like, he's like, "Mommy, I'm so stressed out. I'm so stressed out. You got all these kids in the house. I'm so stressed out." He act like he a grown man, talking about he's stressed. But he revealed to me, he was just like, "I just need to go for a walk. That's all I need." And he said the most eloquent thing last night that I thought was beautiful. He said, "There's something about traveling. There's something about getting lost in a place that makes you find yourself." He said, "My heart is in the world, and I have to travel to go find pieces of my soul." And I'm like, is this a haiku? Are we reading? Are we writing poetry right now? And he's like, "No, Mommy, I'm serious." But it was beautiful, and I loved it. And for him to say that, how many adults even understand that? How many adults can even identify the fact that they haven't been out of Boston, or they haven't been out of Massachusetts, or even the United States? He said, "Mommy, there's a whole world to see. Boston's so little." My son's going to be in space in a minute. The way he travels, he's going to see the entire world. Be like, "You know what? I'm kind of bored. I think I want to travel space." Or at least that's how I feel sometimes. The way he'll just get up and go. And then he gets his common sense and his navigational skills from his mama. Because his daddy get lost every time. But he really, he finds his way home. He loves getting lost and finding his way home. And for those that are worried, like, "Tayla, how could you?" His GPS is on his phone. Where's my iPhone immediately, anytime, all the time. So no worries. I'm not worried. He don't know that, but he is always safe and under my watch always. With that being said, Big City 101.3 FM, Waking Up with TaylaAndre, Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 7. I love you. I appreciate you. I hope you guys are having an amazing day. We have a guest that hasn't been here in a long time, and I miss him oh so much. He in the studio looking like he just got out of jail. But he defends people from going to jail. What is your actual title? Danny Occena of Occena Law?
Yeah, I have my own business and I'm the owner and operator of my firm.
So how does that work? Let's go back to the beginning. When did you know you wanted to be an attorney?
I think I knew early on that I have somewhat of a career in some type of law. I've always been told that
you can argue.
I can argue. I like to argue. And
is that what? Were you that kid that argued with his parents or try to make your case?
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, you have to. My mom raised me right, so I wasn't arguing with her like that. I was just trying to necessarily make my points.
You ever get knocked out?
No. I mean, I've gotten into fights.
No, I mean your mama. Your mama ain't never.
Oh yeah, of course. Oh my God, forget it. if the stuff that happened to me back in the day happened now, forget it. It would be. I think I wouldn't necessarily be here to tell the story, so to speak. But yeah, we had our moments as kids. But it's a different time now. You know how it is, T.
Unfortunately, I do.
Unfortunately. But I've always known that I wanted to be a lawyer. I think, I played football for a while, so. And once that didn't work out, I was able to transition into law and kind of develop a career in that regard.
Well, I'm glad you said that because I have an RE is that one. Okay. An RE is that one where everything is technical. You have to be very specific. And I tell the story all the time. When he was 18 months, he had all his toys all over the place. And I said, go put your toys downstairs. And he stood at the top of the stairs and threw all of them downstairs and said, downstairs. So, ever since then, he has been Mr. Technical.
My son's like that, too. He's very technical. If you don't formulate your sentence the right way, exactly the way you want something done, he will call you on it. And I'm like, Dan, how come you didn't do that? Well, you didn't ask the right question.
Put on your lip.
Oh, you didn't ask the right question. So, it's kind of funny, but my son's the same way. So, but I think it's a product of my wife and I. Yeah. Because we never did the whole Google Gaga talk. You know, we speak to him very eloquently. We make sure he articulates his words the right way and enunciate them the proper way. So he's as an 8-year-old, he's kind of, I think, well beyond his time.
He's on it. Yeah, he's on it. And your wife just opened a business, didn't she?
She sure did. Yeah, my wife is Vanity Blue. She's an event planner, an amazing event planner. And I think my wife is very artsy, so she kind of has that eye. And she, and I commend her for this. She just kind of said, one day she wasn't passionate about what she was doing. She's a social worker. She loves working with people and the work that she did, but it just wasn't moving her. So she decided one day, she's just going to open up her own business. And her office is literally next door to mine.
Aww, that's so cute. That's so cute.
Yeah, so she's doing that, Vanity Blue. You can find her on Instagram. She's, like I said, amazing. Her niche is kids parties. She does Sweet 16s, weddings, quinceañeras, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so she's amazing.
Has she done any weddings?
She does, yes.
Did she planned your wedding?
She planned our wedding, which was amazing. She does everything. And I think what a lot of people don't understand is with event planning, it's affordable. Essentially, people always think you can't hire an event planner because they can't afford it, whatever have you, or they can just do it themselves. Mm-hmm. People end up spending more money planning an event themselves. If you have a budget, an event planner can work with that budget. Mm. Sometimes for a flat rate, sometimes for a percentage of your overall budget. But I think my wife has a big heart, so you'll always get more than what you hire her to do.
That's just a beautiful thing. Yeah. Shout out to her. I love Black businesses.
Oh, yeah.
I support Black businesses. And So you didn't do the football thing. That didn't work out for you.
No.
Was that a pipe dream, or do you think you could have been on somebody's field?
I think I could have been on somebody's field. I blew my knee out, so I didn't really have much of a choice at that point. But I don't know. I think God works in mysterious ways, because I've been very blessed to get into law and open my business at 26. I've been my own boss, and now I have a staff of 4 people, and and we try to really provide a great service.
I don't think try. According to your reviews.
Oh yeah.
According to your reviews that are posted on Instagram, I'm proud to say that you're my attorney. I haven't needed you.
Yeah, that's true.
But I'm proud to say you're my attorney.
You can call me anytime, and I'm always available. The thing, T, is I always tell a lot of people, I just don't understand why a lot of lawyers aren't winning. And I say that, and I don't say that to suggest that I'm winning in such a way, but I'm born and raised in the street. You see what I'm saying? So I took that and I apply it to a business sense, and I say, how are you not taking your license and really providing a great service? You can make great money being a lawyer, right?
Yeah.
But lawyers don't be calling people back. They lie, they cheat, they do all sorts of stuff, and we just don't do business like that. We carry ourselves with a lot of integrity. We provide a great service. We try to help people out, and people who come into our office for help, we try to help them. Mm-hmm. That's what you're there for. We have meetings every Monday in my office, and I always remind my staff, look, people call us for help. That's the first. Even if you don't hire us, call us. We'll talk to you. We're not going to charge you to talk to us. We try to provide a service, because I always tell colleagues, look, provide the service, the money will come. Right? So, if I'm focused on, driving the business and trying to bring in money and cash flow, I'm in it for the wrong reason. I'm in it to provide a service.
So you're not chasing ambulances?
No. We don't have to do that. I'm not from Massachusetts at that. I had to literally build my business from the ground up with the help of my wife. She's from Revere. She's from this area. She's from the Boston area. So, with the help of her, I have her sisters working in my office. Mm-hmm. So we're legitimately a family business. So
that's dope.
My sister Zuli, she's my legal secretary. She fills all the calls. She has my back 100%. My accountant is my sister. She handles all the money in the books.
How many sisters do you have? Because you have one in New York too.
I mean, I call my sister-in-laws. They're my sisters. Yeah, I got one in New York. My wife's sisters, but they're my sisters, right?
I got
so, and we that's how we run. And I know when I'm out of the office, they have me 100%. I haven't been in the office all week. I'm on vacation, and this is business as usual. Nothing changes. We built the system, so it's great. I've been blessed. I'm not even gonna lie. I've been really blessed.
When did you come out of law school?
2008. I graduated.
And then, did you work for a major firm?
So right before I graduated, I was in the district attorney's office for a little while, and I got offers through that office. And I got a job with a Social Security disability firm. So I did that for a little while, and then once I got my bar license, I worked for myself, opening my own business.
So you guys don't have to work under a broker?
No.
So you can just be an attorney and work as an attorney by yourself?
No, well, you know how hard it is to pass that exam.
So
if they say, their logic is, look, if you can get over that bar exam, you don't need any formal training, so to speak. Unfortunately, in law school, they don't teach you how to run a business. Mm-hmm. So
the streets taught you that.
Well, yeah, you take a hustler's mentality and just flip it the right way, and just do it legitimately, and you'll be well on your way. But not everyone has to have that same experience. Mm-hmm. I think, I study. My wife and I, we're different. We study. We try to study our professions. I want to understand what I'm in, the business I'm in, and I really take that very, very seriously. And I pride myself on being at the office at 7:30 every morning. And I'm my own boss, because it starts from the top. So, yeah.
I was reading a statistic. So I want to say thank you, because offices like yours and jobs entrepreneurs like yourself. The studies read that entrepreneurs that hire employees are the reason why the unemployment rate has dropped. So it's people like you with their own business that are hiring others, regardless. Like your sisters are still employees, are still statistically Social Security numbers, but that kind of blew my mind. And they stated that there's right now, I don't know, the statistic was old, but there's 1.9 million small businesses, and if those 1.9 Black-owned small businesses hired 2 people, we could eliminate the Black high-ass unemployment rate.
I think it has to be. I understand statistics, and I'm sure statistics are based on a lot of research.
You can skew anything numbers to make it look like it works for your situation.
You know, I'll say this. I think we need more than that, and I think that it's more than just simply hiring 2 people. There's an inherent problem with our people that just don't fundamentally embrace the idea of either having their own business or feeling compelled to do more than the circumstances that they're in. And I'm not speaking for all of Black people. You know, we have some great people in our culture that are really doing it. But I think Umar Johnson said it the best. He said, look, if you look at every other culture, right, we have a Chinatown, right? Mm-hmm. People from China or the Asian parts of this country come over to this country and they reinvest in their own culture. You go to every major city in this country, you'll have a Chinatown. You go to every major city in this country, you have a Little Italy, right? Where have you seen a Little Africa?
You know, the Nigerians be at St. Kaggle.
Listen, Nigerians be everywhere, and they're the ultimate hustler. But the point I'm trying to make is that it's more than that. We need to systematically we need to do more to empower our people. How come we can't come to various parts of this country that we essentially built and establish our own? How come that's not ingrained in us? But I guess you're right. The statistic is if you employ 2, you can drastically change the employment landscape, but is that enough? You know, is that really? You know, I don't think it is.
Probably not. No. It probably isn't, but I get how statistics work as well. So from there, you opened your own firm, 26 years old. Yep. You've been in business for yourself for
going on 9 years now. It's a fact.
How difficult is it to be a Black male attorney with his ears pierced and tattoos? I got a few inks. It's not difficult at all because I don't go to court like this. You know. Do you take your earrings out at court?
No, I don't. I might wear smaller ones, but I am who I am, and I think there's I was pulled aside. There's a judge in the Boston Municipal Court. His name is Judge Somerville. Pulled me aside and commended me on a presentation I made on emotion. And I think that's what speaks volumes. They may pretextualize you and judge you, right? You can't help that. But when you open your mouth and how you carry yourself within the court, I treat everybody with respect. You come to me, talk to me, I'm not rude. My parents raised me better. My parents raised me better than that. So
you have manners.
Oh, absolutely. Haitian. Haitian American, and
you speak Creole?
Very little, but I try. Haitian people laugh at me, But it's one of those things where, they judge you. But I talk to kids at high schools all the time, and I say, look, be who you are. I listen to my trap music. But when I'm in court and I sit down, ask anybody that worked with me. I'm not lazy. I work extremely hard. I'm in the office every day, after hours. I'm at work working. I'm at home working. And, so when I'm in court, but when my downtime, I'm in court so much, I'm comfortable right now. I'm good. I don't need to be in a suit. I'm not going to change who I am. And that's why I have my own business and I've been able to be successful. I'm not going to change who I am.
How do you, as far as being a business owner, I know we haven't first day you talked about law, because I don't have any law questions, but if you do, 617-282-0062. In what areas of law?
Anything. I mean, family law, criminal law, real estate, personal injury. We do a lot of personal injury, auto accidents, slip and fall, stuff like that.
So any questions on the subjects that he just talked about, 617-282-0062, Facebook, YouTube, slide in the DM like that seal slide in the water yesterday, for those that follow me on Snapchat. How, like, as a business owner, how does that feel? How does that work? How do, like, were you not scared to open your own business and, you know, rents are high? Were you not, like, I have a mortgage to pay, I have a family to take care of, and now I have a business to open, and it sounds like you didn't come from money.
No.
But you came from hard work. You came from dedication.
Yeah.
But how were you, like, in the beginning stages, and even your wife now, to sit here and walk away from a career, to walk away from a salary, to walk away from comfort and stability and security, and to say, it's not my passion, let me do what I love. Because I talk to the listeners all the time about, what is your passion? What do you love to do? What, you know, if you got paid nothing, what would you do for free?
And that's what you got to do. It wasn't easy. And I mean, you know, I think a lot of people would agree. For one, I mean, I attribute a lot of the success of my firm to the foundation I was able to build and my wife's help. I mean, I can never take that away from her, because I was literally operating my business for the first year out of my bedroom in our condo on Revere Beach. And she was the one helping me, making phone calls. She was the one, you know, so it took a lot of help and support. And majority of my clients in the very beginning were her family and friends. And that's a fact.
You came from nothing, so nobody was like,
no,
that's where I am.
Trust me. I mean, can you imagine coming into, and then when eventually I got my office space, I had enough business at that point within the first year. You know, can you imagine walking into an office? I had people come into my office, and like, I'm literally the only one there at this point, right? About 9 years ago. And they would say, they would look around like, is the attorney here? And I'm like, hello, you're looking at him. You know, it was hard. It was hard at first. Getting people to trust you and buy into what services you can offer. But one thing that I've always said to people is like, look, I will bust my butt. You can go hire the gray hair man, older man, white gentleman, whoever it is, down the street. And that's okay. But here's what I can do for you. Mm-hmm. You know, judge me from our first conversation on the phone that actually gave you the motivation to come in and meet with me. You know, and I feel like once they sit down and meet with me and they just realize I'm a normal guy and I'm really there to help, it's everything else is easy. Everything else is easy. You know, it's emulated through my staff. Like they're all like that. My sister, which is May, we're actually starting a business together, a real estate brokerage. You're an agent. She goes above and beyond. Like, the way she talks to some clients, sometimes I don't even want to get on the phone. I just put her on the phone because she makes people feel so comfortable. Like, you know, because she genuinely cares. Yeah. You can't make that up. Yeah. You cannot make that up. So, yeah, we've been blessed, man. You know, but it's a lot of hard work. A lot of hard work. A lot of hard work. Discipline.
Yeah. Y'all hear that? Y'all can do it. He can do it. You can do it. His wife did it. What's scaring you? What's stopping you?
Yeah, what's stopping? I think one thing that we got to tell your listeners is, I heard a quote. It said, "Your rewards in life will always be in exact proportion to your contribution."
Say it again.
That. Your rewards in life will always be in exact proportion to your contribution, and that goes back to what I said earlier. Provide the service, the money will come. Right. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. The greatest people amongst us in our society are in service. Look at Mark Zuckerberg. Mm-hmm. Mark Zuckerberg, he provided a service. Mm-hmm. Anybody, look at any pillar of society. They're in service. They're providing a service. If you can't be driven by the allure of what that service can bring you, like you said, follow your passion. You can make a decent salary doing simply what you love, and eventually it'll take off and be something great.
Mm-hmm. But it is hard work. Did you have to were there any financial sacrifices that you made in the beginning?
Financial, I mean, yeah. I wasn't bringing in any money. My wife was the only one, trying to.
How is that as a man to like?
You know what? It didn't.
Well, 9 years later, it might feel different.
No. At that time, like it weighed on me. Not being able to get up to go to work and relying literally on her paycheck and her health insurance, by the way, to take care of our family. So it was tough at first, but she believed in my dream, And I'm not gonna lie, when she decided that she wanted to start her own business, it took me a while to come around to it and accept that she was literally walking away from a very good salary at a hospital, our health insurance, like to really buy into.
You're like, no, go to work.
I'm like,
we need health insurance.
Can we talk about that for a second? No, yeah, but it took me a while to buy into it, but I think I had to kind of remind myself where I was when I was trying to start my own business.
And she was right there with you.
So it makes.
She didn't tell you this. Talk about it.
But women, trust me, women are the strongest creatures alive. I'm telling you, man. There's some stuff that my wife can endure that I don't think I could ever endure. Resiliency. I mean, women are just built different. You guys are just built different, and that's a fact. You guys are built different. So.
Y'all hear that? Thank you for that. Happy Mother's Day. It does not have to be made nothing for it to be Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah, that's a fact.
And you're a daddy.
I am.
Of two. They're gorgeous. A boy and a girl.
Thank you. I actually have a 17-year-old daughter. I told you about that.
I didn't want to just say that.
Hey.
I got you.
That's my life, man. She's beautiful.
17-year-old.
Yeah, I just reconnected with her like 2013. So.
That's a beautiful thing.
And she's gorgeous.
Thing.
Yeah. That's a fact. So, yeah.
Well, your other two are gorgeous as well. So
Khaleesi and Daniel Jr. Yeah. So we, and it's funny.
You have a junior.
I have a junior. And it's funny because it would have been, like, I wanted him to be named Daniel Jr., but my wife wanted that too. She was like, you know what? Like, his father is something that I want him to aspire to be and live up to. And it was an honor for him to take my name. You know what I'm saying? Like, she could have easily said, nah, we want him,
His name's going to be Zaire.
Yeah, something. We were thinking like Caden or something like that.
Okay.
And no, she was all for it. As cliche as it is, she was definitely all for it. And, I don't want to make this session about me just talking about my wife.
I want people to know who they're dealing with. Not just an attorney that you can call and ask questions, but who are they calling?
Yeah.
Who is the man behind Occena Law?
I agree.
So I think this, and we've never had this conversation.
No, we've not.
So it's like a reintroduction.
Yeah, that's cool. I appreciate it. I really, really appreciate it. I like people to know, like, my story a little bit. Where and why I do it. Yeah, I try to do it, and I try to be like that to people. Mm-hmm. It's important to me.
I really don't like sharing my attorney, but I will share you today. How can they find you? How can they reach you?
So I think the biggest platform is probably Facebook. Occena Law. Just Google it. OCCENA Law, and then
just like Google Ocean with 2 C's.
There you go. Exactly. Or just Google, and like I said, I encourage people if they ever have any questions or anything like that, just call my office. I have people there that will bend over backwards to help you. Even if you can't hire us, we'll point you in the right direction.
So does everybody have to talk to you for advice, or do you have people in the office that know? I'm not. What did Jay-Z say? I'm not an attorney, but I know a little bit.
Yeah, I know. No, so, my paralegal's there, but she can't give legal advice. That can only be given by me, and that's just the ethical rule. But my paralegal, she can quickly decipher through a legal issue and quickly determine whether it's something that you should or not pursue, but she can't make that call. It has to come through me. But you can have a very informed conversation with her about your case. She'll ask the right questions. And then ultimately you'll get me on the phone, and I always call people back. There isn't the sun doesn't go down without me returning every single phone call.
And that is true, because you definitely phone call, text message.
I will get back to you.
Definitely get back.
I will
like,
get back
see, my babe took me so long, but you good?
Listen,
so I definitely appreciate it.
I try to, I pride myself on that. And, my wife tells me I'm too available sometimes. Sometimes you got to step away and, but.
Maybe in year 15 you can become unavailable.
I don't think I'll ever become unavailable. But I do want to do something big for my 10-year anniversary. I was talking to my wife about that. She's going to plan something real nice for me. Where I can invite people and kind of celebrate that milestone.
Like a lunch or something?
More like a gala. I'm trying to, I want to do it big. I want to do something right.
Come out in your finest.
I want to come out in my finest. And you'll obviously, I want you to be one of the keynotes, of course. Have a little speaking time slot. So, and I'm planning that at 9 years. So you can imagine, I'm really looking forward to the future. I'm really looking forward to, doing a lot of great work. Yeah.
So without disclosing information, which was maybe the funnest case you ever worked on? Like, you were really excited about a case.
I tell you right now, I just tried a federal case in federal court.
And tell me, like, how big is that? Do all attorneys?
No. And I mean, you have to. I mean, you can't pick and choose what cases come across your desk. And I was helping Attorney Finari. She was on the show. Yeah. She had a case against a particular city, which I will not.
Police officer, right?
No, current police officers. And again, I won't get into the city, but in this region, and my client was alleging excessive force. Really bizarre set of facts. They found him in his car. They're claiming he was drunk. He wasn't drunk, but he was outside of his house, sitting in his car listening to music. And our version of the facts are that, they essentially forced him out of the car and made him essentially go in his house. But that's not where the problem is. The problem is where, A, he didn't want them to be in his home. And as soon as he was safely in his home, they proceeded to go into his wife's bedroom, who sleeps in the nude, get her out. And, his daughter woke up middle of the night, who has cancer, essentially defecated and urinated on herself in fear. And then when, my client was obviously in an agitated state, so he removed himself from the situation, went into his bedroom, and then an altercation ensued in the bedroom. So anyway, so that was a fun case. Why? Because I was in federal court trying the case. It was a big case.
And it's done? It's over?
It's over. It was a 5-day trial. We didn't win, unfortunately. It's a different climate in Mass, and not that it's different in the sense that you see what's going on around the country.
We do.
It's hard. It's hard to get over that.
Did they actually win? Like, was there any cause for them to be there? Did somebody call and say somebody was outside?
No, there wasn't. And they were operating under something called the protective custody statute. That basically says if you find someone that is inebriated or unable to take care of themselves, you have the right to take them into temporary custody. If they're not detained, they're not arrested, they're not anything.
That's why back in the day, like, come on, Billy, you going to jail tonight, and the door would be open, like, as far as TV is concerned.
Yeah, exactly. But they let them sleep at all, because you're not technically arrested. But, again, it's one of those situations where, if the cops were saying that he was acting so waving, being very aggressive. And our issue with the whole case was if our client was truly acting a certain kind of way, and he did everything in his power to get himself arrested that night, and the only reason why you didn't is because you were being a nice guy and a nice cop and you just wanted to get him home safely, it didn't happen. What I thought happened was they saw a black male in a vehicle at 2 o'clock in the morning in a predominantly white neighborhood, and this is a predominantly white city, and they wanted to find out what the hell he was doing there, and the guy that I was representing is a 6'4", very deep monotone type man. He prides himself on how he carries himself, and he wasn't going to stand for it.
This is my house.
Yeah, he was like, I literally live right there.
And they're like, prove it. Go in the house.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what happened. That's exactly, literally. I want you to take your key, open that door. He's like, well, I don't want you going to my house. And as soon as they open the door, the cop puts a foot in the door. But
so he couldn't go like through the garage.
No,
or the
no,
back
it
door,
was a condo. It was a condo apartment complex.
So how is that legal though? How do you get to come in my house without my permission?
Well, that
because
was part
you
of
put your foot in the door.
That was part of my argument at trial because I think the protective custody statute doesn't give you the right to enter someone's home. You have Fourth Amendment rights for that.
And they shut that down. The jury just,
Was
it a jury of his peers or was it a jury of the town?
I think it was a jury of the town's
demographic
makeup. There wasn't a single African American. It's sad too, and I would take this platform to talk about this. Stop trying to get out of jury duty, people. Like people sitting there when I go to trials and we're trying to pick a jury. For my client, that's indicative of his culture and his background and so on and so forth. Because it's supposed to be a jury of your peers.
Yeah.
But it was so sad to see every time I saw a black person in the jury pool, I got excited. But every single one of them got up and had some type of made up excuse why they couldn't serve. I mean, the excuses were crazy, and we had such a good.
And you can't. Is it illegal for you to be like, "Yo, we need you"? Like,
no, you can't do that. Can't do that.
Stay.
Can't do that. All I gotta do is I gotta stand there with the judge and just smile. Thank you for your service. The judge gives them a speech as to saying, like, if some of them will say, "Oh, I'm prejudiced towards cops, so I can't serve on this jury." She's like, "This is the best forum for you to serve against juries. If you have an issue that's going on in your community, this is the forum where you can voice your opinion about what. Now you just need to be impartial." Call it for what it is. But a lot of these people, they get into these jury pools and they do everything in their power to get out of it. My sister-in-law Zuli, she loves being on jury duty. When she gets her, she comes back in, telling me about the trial that she was just saying. She loves it, and we need more people like that. It's really unfortunate.
I was called to jury duty once so far, and I went, and I was excited. And I wanted to be picked, but they didn't pick me. I wanted to be picked. They wouldn't pick me.
They probably was like, TaylaAndre, that radical radio host.
She's going to be totally against us.
Next. I think we're going to exercise the preemptive challenge and get you out of here from the gate.
You don't have to. Tayla, you never have to serve. But I would love to serve and to give somebody the justice that they need. One of the things that we know nothing about as far as elections are concerned are the governor's council. And nobody knows that the governor's council chooses the judges that sit on the benches.
Yeah. Like
every judge that is sitting on that bench came from the governor's council.
Yep. Pretty much. And
we elect, we just checking boxes or leaving them blank. Not knowing that the person choosing the judges or suggesting the judges to the governor, what is their background? Are they biased? Do you know how many people are not of color in the governor's council? How many judges lack diversity? Not just people of color, but diversity. As a whole.
I think that you're finding that the courts are recognizing the need to have more diversity on the bench. I know in Suffolk County, in the Boston area, there's a big push to have more Hispanic judges, more black judges. They just appointed a really good judge that sits in Chelsea, Judge Horgan. Her background is she was the head of the parole board. Now, the fact that she's black doesn't mean anything on the stand when she's on the bench. She's very, very nice, but she's hard. And what's her background? She was head of the parole board. She had inmates coming to her, predominantly black inmates, right? Because we encompass majority of it.
Yeah.
Coming to her years and years and years on end, begging to get out of jail and deny them or for whatever reason. I don't know. I mean, but I had one-on-ones with this woman, and she's amazing. She's a strong.
I'd love to talk to her. Can you make that happen?
I can definitely make that happen, and I can certainly put her in touch so she can come on your show. She's amazing. I'm talking about a strong black woman who knows herself.
Got that position.
She was appointed. She got tapped.
Who appoints?
The governor nominates. Obviously there's a whole process that you have to go through, and I think to a degree you kind of have to throw your hat in there. and I'm sure she did to a degree. Probably not really anticipating to be appointed. Board. Yeah, she was the head of the parole board.
So how many people? Because as far as law is concerned, I only know Law and Order and television versions of law.
So many.
So I don't know what law looks like in reality. So how does, I know in movies and TV, a parole board is 6 people sitting behind a table and you're over there begging and pleading your case.
It's exactly that.
Oh, really?
It's exactly.
Okay.
I mean, there's some instances where I know some states have one person and there's a video conferences. There's so many parole reviews. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's typically how it is. About 6 or 7 people. And they're sitting in a room. And obviously they review the case at length, so they know you're coming up for parole. Mm-hmm. And they start reviewing the case probably months in advance.
And doing their due diligence.
Looking and talking to the family, kind of seeing where things are and so on and so forth. And then when you finally get up there, that's your opportunity to show them who you are or kind of paint that picture for them to see if you can reintegrate yourself back into society. And unfortunately, they're faced with a known fact that the recidivism rate is so high. Yeah. The people that are likely to come back into jail.
Well, at the same time, just, nationally, we hear, as far as Sheriff Tompkins, them men and women are blessed because he goes above and beyond to provide any and all programs
he's nice.
to get them back into society and stay in society.
Yeah.
But when we have the idiot that's out here, I think in the Fall River area, and he told Trump that you could have my inmates to build a wall. Here in Massachusetts, if you guys don't remember me reading that story, there is a sheriff who said that he was just Trump, you can use my prisoners to build your wall. He did. He probably did. And they hold their position for 6 years. So, and he was just elected at that time when he said that. So I'm scared for those ones.
And again, I'm not. Yeah, Sheriff Thompson. I mean, he has his critics, but it's a good thing that we have somebody of his tone in that position. And his deputy sheriff is also, I think, African American. So hopefully that continues to transition because I think there's a certain level of understanding.
Absolutely.
When the sheriff of your county is also black and kind of from where you're from. But he still has a job to do.
Yeah.
He's not going to cut you any more breaks than the next man.
No breaks.
No breaks.
No breaks. No breaks.
But I met him personally. I've met him a few times. He's fair. He's a good man. And I think he tries to do honest work. And yeah.
He provides a service.
He provides a great service. There you go. That's it. And that's a fact.
What was, so I have to tell you, I feel compelled to say that from your federal, how does it work? I'm going to jail, I'm at Rikers Island, my bail is $2, nobody tells me. You saw that?
Yeah, so my wife sent me the post. It's kind of funny. Somebody has to pay for that.
Yeah.
Exactly. How do you go to so many? And you know what? Our courts are not like that. Not here in Mass. You hear stories like that elsewhere.
Yeah.
In Massachusetts, you have a right to be in court every 30 days. You have judges in Boston that will literally grill the district attorney and say, why hasn't this case progressed? Why isn't this case moving forward? That won't happen. And honestly, what you see is that people try to shit on public defenders. There's some great public defenders out there that really pound the pavement to try to get people their bails lowered. There's the mass bail review. Massachusetts is so progressive in so many ways that and there's so many resources out there to get people out of jail.
Mass bail? What is
the
that?
Mass bail review. So if your bail is $500 or less, all your attorney has to do is petition the mass bail review, and they'll review the case, and they literally will pay your bail.
Hold on, but what if it's $700? I gotta pay the two. Can you?
Well, you have to understand they rely on donations. They rely on sponsors. So they have to set a baseline criteria. Mm-hmm. They can't just be paying for everybody's bail.
Okay, but if I have $1,000, will they knock off $500? I pay the remainder.
Your bail has to be at $500 for them to
or less
to even have that conversation with you, or less. But do you realize? Think about if your bail is $500, chances are that whatever crime.
I've never read any story where it was just like bail was $500. It's like bail's like $10,000 on bond. What does that mean actually on bond?
So like
bail.
Yeah. So like you have bond surety. So like the way that they do it, they might say like.
I feel like that's a southern thing because they have bail bondsmen there, and I don't think. We have those.
Well, it's the surety. It's posting something that will guarantee your appearance at the next date, right? So they might say $100,000, bond, or or some type of surety. Some people put their house up, or $10,000 cash. You see what I'm saying?
What do they do with that money?
Well, I mean, so when people forfeit the bail, it goes several different ways. It goes back into the courts. People don't realize that the courts it's a business. There was at one point a few years ago where the court was having a drought. People weren't committing as many crimes, and there weren't that many fines being issued, where they were literally hemorrhaging for money. If you sit in a courtroom in any part of the state, majority of the cases that are on the list will be resolved with a payment of $200 to $250 in court costs. Majority of them. You get pulled over, unlicensed operation. Hey, we're going to resolve your case today for a payment of $200 in court costs. You agree with that? Okay. Pay the clerk today. Some judges will even go as far as to say, if you pay today, it'll be $200. But if you pay in 3 months, it's going to be $250. It's a bargaining chip. Like, the court's literally... So, I mean, it's
like the okey-doke.
Listen, it's let's make a deal.
I see. Damn.
That's how it is.
So, all right, let's go back. How does it work? So, as far as jail, prison.
So usually jails. When you get sent to jail, when you're kind of either like a certain level of crimes that you commit, or you're being held for trial or pending a case, you can get to Nashville or South Bay. But once you get sentenced on a case, and depending on the type of crime that was committed, whether your case is in Superior Court or District Court, you could be sent to Concord, or one of the more serious prisons in Massachusetts. But typically most people navigating through this area will be sent to Nashville Street or South Bay. Okay, so you said District, Superior, and then you were recently in Federal. Yes, correct. Okay, so what's above Federal? You said what's above? Well, I mean, Supreme Court is part of the federal government. Okay. All right. So federal court, it depending on what type of crime you commit. So let's just break it down. Like, you'll see trespasses, assault and batteries, regular breaking and entering type crimes in district court. That's Boston Municipal Court, Roxbury Division, Central, etc. Then you have Superior Court, the murders, the armed robberies, gun charges. You'll see those in Superior Court, like more serious rapes, stuff like that. Where the sentence is above 2.5 years. The maximum sentence in district court is 2.5 years. Right? That's the maximum you could be sentenced in district court. Superior Court, 5 years or more, 2.5 years. So that's how when dudes get drug charges, they go to jail, serve 18 months, and come out. Well, no, that's not it. Because you could be sentenced to 2 years and only serve 18 months. You could be sentenced to 5 years and only serve 2.5 years. There's so many reasons why people get out early, and it's often a misconception that if they see someone getting out, they think they're snitch. And that's not. That can be far from the truth. Jails are often overcrowded. They give you incentives. If you work in the kitchen, you get more time credit. That's why they come out. Absolutely, because they're working in the kitchen. They're cooking every day, and that's kind of the best type of job you can get, working in the jail. So, you figure someone has a year sentence, they can get out in 7 months, 6 months. Danny? Yeah. I have to tell you that I could never go to jail. I would be on the run. I can't do it forever. I can't do it either. I'm not built for it. I'm not built for it either. My soul's like, I need to be free. I need to eat when I want to eat. You can't tell me when to go to bed. And I want to watch what I want to watch on TV. My wife, man, she makes fun of me because I tell her all the time. I used to watch Boondocks.
I was just about to say that.
Hell no. You're not finna send me to jail. No, sirree. And prison rape is real. Like, it is real. Oh, it happens. Bootsy was just talking about it in an interview. How, like, literally
you are ghetto for real.
Oh, yeah.
Bootsy?
Bootsy was just talking about it in an interview. How, like, prison changed his life after witnessing people getting raped.
And Lil Bootsy is tiny, too.
Yeah, he was like, I'm not built for it. He knew at that point he needed to get the hell out of there. Who else? I just saw the Charlestown massacre guy. Dylan Roof just got raped in prison. And
I didn't even see that.
Absolutely. And he ended up getting like 20-something stitches in his anus.
Okay, next one.
Yeah. Prison rape is very serious. It's real.
Do you think that was like more of a retaliation than anything?
It most certainly was. And the guy who did it openly professed to them. That's exactly what.
Your skin is not crawling by that? My skin is all over the place.
It was when I read it.
Oh.
I can't say that I have sympathy for him.
Lord have mercy.
I think that there's so many facets of our society surrounded law that you can't possibly live in this country and not understand how things are working. And you're so conscious, Taylor. You read about this stuff. You know about this stuff. And, it's almost like pulling teeth to get people to really pay attention to what's going on. Mm-hmm. And, it's easy to put your head down and just say, you know what, I got my own problems. I can't.
Trying to make these ends meet.
I actually watched something this morning. It was the most powerful video. This guy from India was saying how the most dangerous letter in our alphabet is I. Because people don't realize that every time you associate that word with anything, you're essentially setting your expectations of what you expect to happen and what you want, which is okay in some sense. Mm-hmm. But the reason why I'm bringing that up is because we're always worried about us, like, I have something to do. I have this, or I have this expectation. Mm-hmm. I can't worry about that. I. And, like, for instance, think about it. Every time we pray to our God or whoever God you serve, you're asking him what he can do for you. Or her, right? And you're saying, I want this, I want that, I want this, that, and there. But people really need to change the conversation and start saying, like, how can you better serve God or whatever have you? You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so we just need to be more conscious, man. We need to be more awake about things that are going on in this world and stop worrying about what we got going on and, provide a better service to our country and our people, especially in our communities, especially.
So I am, again, compelled. My heartstrings won't let me be quiet about this, but as far as your federal case, there's a law in Massachusetts that says that a black man can run for the police because he fears for his life.
I haven't heard that law.
You haven't?
I have not.
Okay, so can you look that up and find out if you can use that? Because you can appeal your client's case, right? Would you ever appeal that? Because essentially they can use your, like, I learned about, like, presidents, like, because this case went this way, that's grounds for our case going the same way. So technically, another black man sitting outside his house can say, well, the case that Danny tried went this way, so, we're going to use that as grounds.
Yeah, of course you can. And I think, but here's the thing. I didn't necessarily know it was a law, per se. I've used that as a defense. Just because someone flees is not indicative of guilt. You see what I'm saying? And I've gotten people off on that argument. If I had a kid who, on Tremont Street in Boston, standing in a McDonald's, literally standing there, waiting to order, hang on a second. He's sitting there, standing there, waiting to order, and what he did was he realized that two police officers entered the McDonald's. Okay. Once he saw them, he took off out of the McDonald's. Now, he didn't do anything wrong. He didn't have anything on him. No, well, I shouldn't say he didn't have anything on him, but the cops took off after him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what was the reason why they were chasing him? Because he started running. And I argued, saying, look, just because he's standing in McDonald's, and takes off running simply because he sees cops, he could have an inherent fear of police officers. That doesn't mean that he is guilty of something. So the question was, did they have probable cause to actually stop him? And obviously a judge agreed that they didn't. They saw him in McDonald's. He wasn't doing anything wrong.
Did he have anything on him?
Well, he did.
Because they like to be like,
did.
Well, he ran because he was guilty.
He did.
He had weed on him.
Did. Exactly. He had weed on him. He had a few packs of weed on him, and he's in a park at that. So now he's facing minimum mandatory prison sentence of 5 years in jail because he got caught with marijuana in his book bag in a park in the Boston Commons. You see what I'm saying? So you see how drastically the landscape
he already
changed.
knew, like, this could go completely
exactly.
wrong.
So let me get out of here.
Why did he walk away? Why did he run?
I mean,
flee or free, fleet or
flee or I know what you're saying.
Flight or free, something like that. Something like that.
Fight or flight.
That's what it is. So we have two callers on the line. We're coming to the top of the hour. I'm going to take these calls, but really quickly. Mass High Court says black men have legitimate reason to flee police. This is September 2016. Black men who try to avoid an encounter with Boston police by fleeing may have a legitimate reason to do so and should not be deemed suspicious, according to a ruling by a Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court. Citing Boston police data in a 2014 report by the ACLU of Massachusetts that found blacks were disproportionately stopped by the city's police, the state's highest court on Tuesday threw out the gun conviction of Jimmy Warren. Warren was arrested in 2011 by police who were investigating a break-in in Roxbury, and police have been given a description of suspects as three black men, one wearing a red hoodie, one wearing a black hoodie, and the other one wearing dark clothing. An officer spotted Warren and another man, both wearing dark clothing, walking near the park. When the officer approached the men, they ran. Warren was later arrested and searched. No contraband was found on him. What is contraband itself?
Contraband is anything that's illegal or not permitted to be had at that point.
Okay. No contraband was found on him, but police recovered an unlicensed .22 caliber firearm in a nearby yard. Warren was charged with unlawful possession of a firearm and later convicted. Even though there was two men, he was the one convicted for it, so they didn't know who dropped it, but yet they can just throw a charge on you like that?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think typically both people will be charged at that point, but obviously going through the process, a couple motions to dismiss later, I'm sure they figured out that maybe the appropriate charge was just on that one person, whether it's by fingerprints or constructive possession, meaning it's in the vicinity of you at the time it was found.
That's crazy. What if somebody else threw it in there? You don't know. This is Boston.
You don't know. It's Boston. You don't know.
But I think this is dope. Lacking any information about facial features, hairstyle, skin tone, height, weight, or other physical characteristics, the victim's description contributed nothing to the officer's ability to distinguish the defendant from any other black male wearing dark clothing and a hoodie in Roxbury. And the highest court went ahead and said, black men can run.
Yeah.
And I thought that was, we made national news with that.
That's awesome. I'm surprised I didn't hear about that.
Bro, I want you to retry your case, Danny. Like, I need a black man to sit outside of his house and not be harassed.
No. That was a very grueling trial. I want you to get to the call. So.
Good rising, caller, you live. My love, you've been on hold. Thank you for your patience. Good rising. Okay, maybe you don't want to talk. Good rising, baby, you live.
Hello?
It's you. Good rising.
Good rising. I had a quick question because I know you're about to go off to the brother, man. First, I want to congratulate him, the young brother for being so successful and doing what you got to do. And my question is basically, is this the fact that black people's voting status had a renewing time or something like that, the right for black people to vote had a time of ending. Is that a fact?
That's not a fact. It's actually unconstitutional if they try to impose a term on something that, as an American citizen or an African in America, as I like to say, to impose something like that, especially on a class of people, would be highly unconstitutional. So, no, that's not a fact. And I think that if you pay attention to a lot of the efforts that are happening in alternative to that, then you could say, yeah, systematically they are trying to impose restrictions on our voting abilities, right? Yeah. Whether it's a term or asking for ID at the voting booth, so on and so on. Because they know unfortunately, a lot of African Americans, we don't have IDs. Or at least that's the misconception, right? Mm-hmm. Or that's the conception, that we don't carry IDs. I mean, I carry an ID. I don't know, too many black people that don't carry ID.
I'm guilty. I'm an American. Don't sit here and look for my slave papers. That's how I feel. I don't think I have to. When you can look on my social security number, you can look on my driver's license number, I can give you both numbers. I don't feel like I should have to carry around my slave papers.
And with technology these days, too, what can't a cop or someone in whatever official capacity can't look you up and figure out who you are without an ID? Now, again, just to specifically answer my brother's question, no, that's not a fact. And, it's just that we really have to, push back on a lot of attempts to regulate things like that, like your right to vote. Because remember, at one point,
we couldn't vote. We couldn't read.
You weren't considered a human to vote, or a person, because you were property. And so, and a lot of people don't exercise. It's just like jury duty. I just don't get it. Even if you don't like the candidate. Now look what we got. Look what we got in the White House now. Pure buffoonery.
You just made a face. You look like Ice Cube.
People tell me that, and I need to lose weight. Every time I got the facts right now.
No, say that. You look like you came from jail, though. You look like you're pushing up iron.
I know you told me that when I walked in, but I think, no. We got. I mean, it's just, but I'm only one voice. I don't know.
So, all right. What would you like people to know about jury duty? Because there's a lot of misconceptions about jury duty. They pay you $50 a day.
Listen, it can't be about the money. Like, I get it. It's an inconvenience. It is. You're essentially, but you have to understand, like, that person in that courtroom, whether it's a criminal defendant or someone who was done wrong, you could be that person on that jury to make that difference. You see what I'm saying? Like, people don't understand how important it is. And again, it goes back to the word I got something to do in 2 days. I can't, give up 8 hours of my life. Most of the time when you go to jury duty, you'll be in and out that day if you're picked. Really? Trials are usually about 3 hours long. That's, unless you get picked for like a big trial or, or something like that, or my federal case, it was 4 days. I mean, sometimes it is really an inconvenience in your life, but you have to understand, like, I would hate to be that person in handcuffs, knowing I'm innocent. And I can't find one like-minded person that look like me. One of my peers that can come up there and really help me. Can you imagine? You know how many people? It's real. Innocent people get sent to jail every day. It's real. Like, and jury duty is your only way. I have a license. I have a way. I have a license to practice law. I can go into court and fight for my brothers and sisters every day, and I do that. And that's a fact. Anybody who look at my reviews, anybody who encounters me, they know I go hard. I'm a damn pit bull in court. However, when that power gets transferred over to a jury, I can't do anything at that point. It's up to that person who is willing to dedicate their time to that particular case. And people don't realize how important it is. I came home from my trial and I was telling my wife, I'm like, damn, babe, like, it just sucks because we had a predominantly white jury.
Did you have anybody of his peers?
We had one Hispanic woman, but I don't think she was Hispanic. I'm only judging that because her last name was Garcia, but I think she married a Hispanic man. We had a woman on there where her husband was an ICE agent. We had another woman on there where her father was a police officer. It was just like, but that's who we got.
But you can't take that case and say there was no jury of his peers, because there was a case like back in like the 60s or something like that was retried because there were no, under the thought or notion that there were nobody on the jury of his peers.
Well, I mean, you think you have to.
And why would they?
You can appeal it. You can appeal. There were so many issues that happened during that trial that I think my client's eventually going to appeal. I don't do appeals. They're very, I did my job. and now I have to step out. I'm a trial attorney. I'm not an appellate attorney.
There's a difference?
Absolutely. There's attorneys that specialize in looking at trial issues. You know, trying to figure out, you know, what happened in that trial that.
What about the Freedom Project? Have they looked at this?
They haven't looked at my particular case, but you know, I think they focus more on people
that are
wrongly convicted, and that's part of the problem. And they don't have enough attorneys to really fight all of that. You know, the ACLU is awesome. You know, they do a lot of great work. They hold our city officials, especially in Boston, to the fire. You know, but it's just really sad. Like I mean, I can't even explain it.
I want a new law that says, you know, in spades, when you don't have no spades, you get a redeal.
You get a redeal. Yeah.
I want a redeal. When there's nobody, because if that would happen, if a white man was tried or a white woman was tried and there was nothing but Negroes on the jury. Like, hold on, this wasn't fair.
Yeah, probably, and you know, but it's just the way it is. It's just really unfortunate. It's just like I said, when you experience it firsthand. And I can just imagine, like, if I was sitting next to a lawyer and I was going through a trial and realizing that people really don't want to serve on juries, like, it would break my heart because I know that I'm going to be tried by people who probably think I'm guilty. Already from the gate.
Yeah.
It's really, and people don't understand how important it is. Like, if you could just put your self-interest aside for a second, you know, I saw a quote one day. If you want to lift yourself up, lift someone else up, right? If you want to lift yourself up, lift someone else up. Like, people don't realize how, just be selfless, like, you know, but, I mean, you could preach it all day. If you don't buy into stuff like that, it's not going to matter. It's not going to, you know, it's not going to matter. And it's really unfortunate, and it really breaks my heart being in this profession and seeing how many people make up excuses why they can't serve on a jury. It's truly sad.
617-282-0062. I am TaylaAndre. You are waking up with TaylaAndre. Danny Occena. Do I pronounce it correctly?
You do.
Okay. Danny Occena. It's Ocean with 2 C's. Just go ahead and Google Ocean with 2 C's and you will find him and his firm. He is located in Revere.
Yep.
And do you work with, like, I'm a Bostonian.
Yeah, of course. Majority of my clients are from Boston. And, you know, I travel to meet clients and that really doesn't, you know. The location of the office is not indicative of anything. It's just, that's just where my office is. And I live in Revere, so, you know, but I practice out of Boston. No, those are my courts.
And as far as contacting you directly, your number is?
781-629-5147.
Again?
781-629-5147. I encourage you.
Slow, you a little slow, baby.
Oh, that's right.
Slow.
781-629-5147. But I think the best thing, just find me on Facebook, find me, you know, Google. You can even go to my website and send a message through that way, like, and chat with me directly. It comes right to my cell phone. OccenaLaw.com. www.Occena, OCCENA, law, LAW.com. And, you know, or just Google my name, you know, and like I said, hit me up right on my website, and you can talk to me directly.
And I do want to give a shameless plug to your wife. If you are planning an event and you need an event planner that is affordable and will go above and beyond for you and has an artsy eye and is a big heart, they can contact her.
Vanity Blue. Just go to Vanity Blue. Just search it on Instagram. She's on Facebook, Vanity Blue. Just like how it sounds. Or just, again, you can contact me and I'll put you in touch with her. But she's awesome. Like, you know, I think if you truly want an extraordinary type of event, again, even if your budget is very little, just call her and she'll make it work. You know, so.
She'll make it work. One of the things that I would like to do is to thank my Faithlin Naturals. She has the big hair milk now because I needed a gallon, so I got a pint. Instead of the 16-ounce bottle, she now has 32-ounce bottles of hair milk, which I go through in a dark-on week, but it makes my hair soft and silky. The curls are coming in on fleek. Aside from that, the Pum Pum Wash. She has Yoni Steam, Yoni Eggs, everything you need for the Pum Pum. It is summer dress season, and y'all need to get it together. She got the Pum Pum Spray. spray, so when you're in transit, you can go ahead and spray yourself, get the oils together. She has deodorant, lotion, hair milk, shampoo, conditioner, teeth whitener. If you have alopecia, if you suffer from eczema, she has everything that you need. If you just had a baby, she has the yoni eggs to help you tighten up real quick. She has body scrub. She has singing bowls and stones. And I promise if she touch you, you might be healed. She has that 66A South Street, and her website is face with an S, naturals with an S, beauty.com. I would like for everyone, do you have your firearm? Oh, you saw Firearm Fred.
Yeah, I got my license
with
and everything.
Your sister too, right?
Absolutely. My whole family, my wife, my sisters, all of us, we got our license and everything, Fireman Fred.
So we are going, the children and I are going shooting on Friday.
Yeah, I was actually hoping to go there today, but I'm not going to have time. I was hoping I could take another quick tutorial with him.
Well, you should definitely, do you or would you in the future expose your kids?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely, without a doubt. I think once DJ turns like about 10, I'm going to start taking them down there so you can shoot as well. Absolutely. A lot of the white kids are doing it.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Absolutely.
They have their own guns.
They have their own guns at as little as 6.
Yeah.
Shooting guns. It's important. We need to arm ourselves.
Absolutely. Firearm Fred, 617-293-1011. Anari and Asaria, you know, when DJ Black Label was our DJ, he came to the house and the kids were like, we're not ready. And it was a fake one. So I was just like, all right, when you guys are ready, we'll go. And Anari was like, you know what? And Asaria was like, yes, I'm down. So if your children are not ready, that's not something that they want to do, I would not pressure them. But if they are ready and they feel like they want to know more, you know, that knowledge is key. And kids are going to be around, unfortunately, our kids are going to be around guns. So you can either A, show them how to properly use them, or B, have them ignorant in a situation that could turn fatal. I'd rather educate my kids on it. Shout out to Prestige Cuisine. If you want to go get you some fish, the fish is amazing. Your chicken is amazing. And they specialize sometimes in porridge. And I'm kind of in the mood for some porridge, y'all. So. Raphael, I might be coming to see you soon. TaylaAndre. Throw a .com behind it for everything TaylaAndre. If you know somebody who is buying or selling a house, please have them call me, 617-459-0041. I need my people to buy houses, baby. If you're paying $1,600 cash money out your pocket to rent somebody's apartment, you could have an upstairs, downstairs, front porch, back porch. You could buy your own house. Unfortunately, you probably won't be able to buy your own porch in Roxbury because houses are damn near $700,000. But I would rather have you be a homeowner than a renter any day, regardless of where it is we find your home. I thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Again, it's like ocean with 2 C's and an A at the end. Danny Occena, attorney at law, beautiful soul, amazing man, and very trustworthy. Just go to the website and read the comments. I think that alone, you'd be like, he's my attorney too. I hope you guys have an amazing day. We'll see you tomorrow for Freaky Friday.
Yep, that's right, baby. You know what it is? It's DJ Sus One, the feature presentation. Listen, make sure you wake up with TaylaAndre Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 a.m. on Big City 101.
So really quickly, we have got some questions about CCW and protecting yourself if it's inappropriate for the show. What's CCW?
I have no idea.
What is CCW, Raheem? What is that?
Protecting yourself with what?
So the whole comment says, I've got some questions about CCW and protecting yourself if it is inappropriate.
Concealed carry.
Oh, a weapon. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, in Massachusetts is.
Can we talk about that next time?
Yeah.
About gun laws?
Gun laws and shit like that.
Yeah.
It's important because there'll be a lot of gun charges. You know, tell them to tune in a couple weeks or something like that. We'll have a show that.
So tune in in a couple weeks. Maybe the beginning of August, we'll have him back and we'll talk about gun laws. And you know what would be dope? Because I was thinking, let me not say this on air. Mwah. I love you. I'll see you guys later. YouTube. Hi. I missed you guys.
Is that YouTube?
Yes. YouTube, Facebook.